should be doing the thing.
I don't know if Teresa's gonna
Mm.
if she's gonna join, but she was a lifesaver today.
She was in. She's in here, or she wasn't
Oh,
here.
okay. Because I got all that stuff loaded and I fell asleep. I put the wrong links. I put the preview links in on the page,
Right. Yeah.
not on the actual page, but in the little the separate page,
Mm-hmm.
not the home page. And she was like, "Yep, I can't get through any of this stuff." And I just
Right.
happened to roll over and see it, so I was like, "Cool." I
Right.
didn't need that nap,
Right.
and so
Yeah.
shout out to
I got one person that was like, hey, it ain't working. I was like, hold on. Give me a screen. Send me a screenshot. I'll see what I can do. And
yeah.
if it's
I
something that
saw
can
it.
be fixed.
They said that recently.
No, it was a couple hours ago.
Okay.
And then
Cause
they
I
confirmed that they had got it working. I was like,
yeah,
cool.
it was probably me, but there was also a second where it wasn't like it was just moving slow,
Mm-hmm.
like, and then it would time out. So
That's how technology be doing, man. It's like it's crazy.
yeah, but yeah, I once she showed me a screenshot and I knew exactly what was wrong, so I was able to hop to it. But I'm glad she
Yeah.
did that because the other thing is it didn't have it activated to show the sizes for the shirts,
There you go.
which would have which would have been a hassle after the fact. So
There you go.
everybody
Hey,
just give it up one time for the lovely and talented Teresa.
problem solving. Getting stuff ordered on. That's good.
Now I will say, I sensed a little attitude when she, cause, yeah, she thought I could
Right.
just hear her voice. Yeah, she was like, I realize you just put this up, but this ain't working. I'm
Right.
like, oh,
Right. It is that Friday. All right, we got all of the things. And because we're only
all right.
doing an hour tonight, right? What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna come in like a wrecking ball and see if I can't get her gun started. This is the last panel of page 6-7. But I'm also gonna put some what do you call that? Some sound wave effects for the little grenades that are going off around the kids. You feel me? So
Mm-hmm.
that it looks like it is actually a sound grenade, not just by talking. This is a little bit too thick. Hold on.
Thank you, Teresa. Seriously, thank you. I after that, I went and got me like 12 minutes of sleep, but that missed nap was worth it. I will recoup those, that time at some point in the evening.
I was fighting my nap with everything I had in me, man. I was like, nope, nope, not today. You don't need one. But I could have definitely passed out. I was like, nah, man. Finished one thing, jumped on another, did emails, a lot of stuff. I was trying for what they call productive Friday.
What up, Al? Yes, we are back at it. What's up, Harold? Oh, I see what you're talking about now, Harold. Never mind. Um, Cedric is in here. Teresa's in here. It's like we're becoming a family, even more of a family than we were before. Teresa, I do have a tip for you, and I got this from Martin. Don't eat egg salad if you plan on riding the bus, sucker. All right.
Wow.
So I didn't even have to make it up. It was already there. Yes. The emails are blowing up a little bit. Things are moving. Things are shaking.
Good.
So pretty good day so far. If anybody is not aware, we did launch our pre-order for Tuskegee Heirs issue 5.
This is
Ooh, look at that! Right on time.
right.
Um,
That's
but
one, and then we got number two.
but watch this, watch this. But not only are we releasing issue 5, we also have Timelines
Right.
uh, book, which has a couple of side stories in it. That'll also be released at the same time. We got a bunch of different packages on the website, so if you just want one book, you can do that. If you
But
want to
who
get
only
them
wants one
all,
book, man? Like
yeah,
you gotta go for the gusto. Like don't
right.
fail yourselves.
Get it.
We'll appreciate you and we'll still like you, but you'll
There
probably
are
lose sleep and stuff.
there are savings included if you grab some of the other packages.
Right.
So yeah. So basically, I had some people asking. I was telling them about it last night. They were asking why didn't we do a Kickstarter? And I'm like, we don't need to go through all of that. You can
Right.
order online if you know. That way, it's refundable. You know, if you have an issue, you're not gonna, but just in case,
Also, I was about to say, yeah, wait.
we
Also,
cut.
no refunds.
Right. I'm sorry, sorry. Uh, but no,
I didn't like the book. That's too bad. That's too
yeah,
bad.
not gonna. Blocked.
Right. It's like next time you should read the complex
Yeah,
clues.
but no, it's cutting out the money man, the middleman. I
Correct.
will post it right here for you, my man. Uh,
Hey, my man.
what it looked like.
Right.
That's not it. That's not it. Let's go here.
Out in the street, they call
They
it
call it
murder.
murder. Oh, I'm sorry. Um, but yeah, so we cut out the middleman. We don't have to deal with any third party stuff. We can get the books. We can ship them early if we want. We did. I did have it listed that the books will be shipped um, around. Well, that's the wrong one. That's why that's not working. We'll be shipping around April 10th, but the way that we're moving, there's a chance that these might get done earlier and get out to you earlier than that. But we like to give a nice buffer, so just in case there's a tornado or a tsunami or something like that. You know what I mean?
Right.
I feel it's responsible to do that.
Right. Out in the streets, they call it murder. I'm gonna eventually go back in and actually adjust all these thumbnails on YouTube because they're the exact same ones. And
Right.
I wasn't really ready for graphic design when I did that, but I used something previously and I did a little graphic design. That was my style. But I'm gonna go back in and fix it, make it look interesting and on brand. But
All right,
this.
Teresa, we hear you. You accept tips. We got you, sort of. Let me
Cool.
see.
I think Greg said he had a tip, so
I did say that.
you know.
This cold is gonna go away. I need it to go away so I can, be out in the streets this weekend. Uh, Jeffrey Taylor's, and this got to be for the Marcus Williams. As a fellow artist, I appreciate you showing your illustration process.
Mm-hmm. That's what's up. It is definitely a pleasure. A lot of folks always ask about this comic making process, and it is, you know, part of. I'm already doing it. I might as well show y'all what the product look like. It's pretty arduous, but fun to get it done. You get in there, you get your ideas down, and if you actually get a clear vision of it, and everybody's on the same page, especially if you got like a team, creative team that's also kicking it out with you, it's actually pretty dope. It's kind of like forming the X-Men team or something. You just kind of hit it. It's pretty dope. But
Well,
it can definitely be a challenge to everything else in your life that also wants your time. So, you know, it's good to show. Um, but yeah, really, really dope to have you guys along for the ride, man. This is the first time I've done this process live, so I'm enjoying it. I'm having a good time.
I think like one of somebody who's been jumping in from time to time was DMing me, and they were just saying like they had no idea the process was this like intricate, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, that's kind of a thing that we all do, right? Like if it's there's like you could watch a boxing match and you
Mm-hmm.
could like watch Floyd Mayweather and be like, "Ooh, he's winning the fight," and that's all you really know.
Right.
But you don't know, like you don't understand with his footwork, like all the little intricate things. And I think this is a cool way to show
Mm-hmm.
um, how much thought and energy you're putting into to all of this.
Right.
The planning that takes place, um, it's a lot,
Yeah.
but it is cool.
Yeah. And eventually we'll figure out a way to actually like edit this process where it's far more entertaining and or makes it feel like it went quick, fast, in a hurry. Like wow, they did that in only 30 minutes. It's amazing. And then you guys will know the truth and be like, no, they didn't, dummy, and stuff like that. And then you can just correct people. They won't know
And
any
y'all
better.
can
Go easy on them, man.
start yelling at people when they're like, "Hurry up with the next issue." You'd be like, "Nah, this stuff takes a long time." You know,
Right,
people
right, right, right,
get our backs.
right.
Man, you know what? So last night I was watching, trying to log into yours. So it's like when we're on here, I be
Mm-hmm.
seeing like a lot less comments and stuff
Mm-hmm.
on Instagram. What's that
Yeah.
about?
People on Instagram are just having fun, like looking at stuff. The night.
No. I mean, I'm saying like it's like even like while we're on live,
Mm-hmm.
it'll only show like a few comments, but then I could go look at it like on your page and it'll have much
Wow.
more. I feel like I'm being racially
That's.
profiled.
It's
That's why I was
probably.
wondering.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's probably just racism.
I figured
Could be.
makes sense.
Could be that.
So I kind of forgot. Like people was like, "Did you say Tuskegee Heirs issue 5?" Yes, I did say that.
Right.
And so, you know, people seem to be okay with it.
It's been a long time. Shouldn't have left you without a dope beat section.
Step two.
50,
Did I
50.
do it right?
You did. You did. I wonder where she would have been in her music career by now.
I was just listening to her before we got on here.
Word. She definitely would have been into acting a little bit more.
Yeah,
I don't know if she would have
I
been any amazingly good, but she could have got some more roles easily.
right.
It's been an accident like Michael. But what about Tupac? Would have been probably in at least one other suit. He probably would have been in a superhero film by now.
It depends, man, on like if he was gonna keep, gang banging and stuff.
Nah, he probably would have got smart. He's getting older, you know.
I
He would have been
mean,
like, you know what? Bump all
I
this
mean,
music, man.
no disrespect. I love Tupac, but they say, sometimes they say old fools used to be young fools,
Right.
and he totally didn't have to be doing some of the stuff he was doing.
Right.
He was way too brilliant for that mess, man.
Right.
Because he was a person that could have helped to bring about change in the community. He had that type of influence.
Right.
Uh,
But that's what I'm saying.
yeah.
Like, if especially if he would have got more involved with the right, you know, right groups, man, they'd be like, hey, man, we need you to be in this movie, man. It's important. A lot of kids. He would. All right. So, for instance, would he have been in like Black Panther? Think about it.
That's why I just was posting it.
Right.
Jeffrey Taylor said Tupac would have been Killmonger's dad. It would have tracked, you know.
It would have. Yep.
Been,
Yep.
I don't know if he could have pulled off the accent, but let's face it, some
Right.
of the people in the movie couldn't pull off the accent either. So,
Right.
uh, yeah. Ooh, we
Right.
got a question from Harold. He's
Yeah.
asking me, what are some of my approaches in dealing with writer's block? Um,
Mm-hmm.
lay in the fetal position and cry it out. Run away from your responsibilities until you have no choice but to sit down and get back to work. Now, I
There you
don't
go.
know. I struggled. I was struggling bad like a couple of months ago. Um, and it got to the point where it's not even. It's like forcing myself to sit down was difficult. But sometimes you got to clear out some of the things. I've heard it different for different people. When I was younger, all I had to do was sit down, and then it would start coming. Um, but another thing, one of the things I'll say is just write. Like sometimes write. Don't write on the project that you're struggling on. Just write, even if it's just. I just started journaling. I think that's what got me out of it. Just like my daily. How do I feel? What am I doing today? What's like I just started journaling, and then um, through that, as a creative writer, the creativity will start to slip back out, and then I was like, boom, oh, that script is done. So, but
Right.
you really got to find your own way because, like I said, when I was younger and I had like way more stuff going on. I had a job. I was coaching sports. I was raising kids, like all this stuff. And all I would have to do back then is just, force myself to sit down. So you got to kind of figure it out on your own. Um, it's a it's a whole different heap of pressure when somebody's like paying you. I think
Right.
Marcus, you could probably
Mm-hmm.
attest to that as an artist, right? It's like it's fun, like when you're doing it for yourself and you're doing it on your own.
Mm-hmm.
But when there's money and contracts and stuff like that attached,
Right.
then you start and then you're thinking about getting other people's approval. It's not even for me. It's not like a confidence thing. It's more of a thing of no. Let me take that back. I think there is some confidence involved, right? Because
Mm-hmm.
being able to be like I know what I'm doing, and y'all gonna take what I give you, you
Right.
know.
Right.
But yeah, that's kind of confidence, but that's also like a kind of like a pecking order thing, right? Like once I
Mm-hmm.
have a whole bunch of stuff under my belt, I'm be like this, I'm the artist. Take this,
Right.
But some of the projects I'm working on, I'm having to be like very interactive with the people, and so it's like it's not even in a negative way. It's just like if I write this, they might say these, they need to be wearing heels instead of boots. You know what I mean? Little stuff like that.
Right.
So it's just kind of like staying present, staying loose. I think
Mm-hmm.
one of my issues that does hamper me is that when I'm when I'm writing, trying to think what the approver, like the editors or whatever, like, is this gonna work for them? I think that's where I go wrong. And then it's like you got to remember they hired you because of the stuff that you've done.
Right.
So, yeah, so I don't know if any of that helps, but that's what happens with my brain. So,
Right. When I so both art for me and writing for when I did the Popeye, I had to figure out, like, okay, so what's the best way to continue from a perspective that would work, for the story, that won't be too much for people. Like when especially if you're giving, I guess the concepts of if you're working for your own self, you have moments where you can have a block to say, okay, well, I'm trying to get to this this goal in the story or this concept of the character. I want this to really hit. There's blockages when you're talking about connecting the dots. There's blockages that I've come across when you're trying to make sure imposter syndrome is not, like literally locking you up because you're like, this is too close to something. You know what? I didn't even see it when I was coming up with this, but this is exactly like so and so. And so you get locked up for stuff like that, man. Because I've watched a lot of anime, and I'm like, dang it! I think I'm channeling something that I haven't watched in like 10 years. But you're trying to, of course, be original, so you have to go back to the drawing board or problem solve on the fly. And yes, it's still due, you know, and people are waiting on you. And I think I had a moment when I was working on Popeye where I was just like, okay, I got to make sure this is not too removed from what the fan base is, okay with reading. It's I was creating something that had never existed in terms of, a complex story for a cartoon character that's been around for over 50 years plus. So well, close to 100 years, but I'm
Yeah,
just
I was
saying,
gonna say
like, yeah, it's that blockage was more of, am I doing this the right way? Should I scratch my ideas and just, forget that, let's go with something easy? And I was like, it's not, I need to make it funny. There's not enough comedy in it. All of that stuff was going through my head, so I was just like, all right, hold on, let me not make myself psych myself out. And you have to pull the trigger sometimes. You have to make a decision. You have to actually be confident in the choices. They may not hit and they may not be, successful with everybody, but you still have to move forward, especially if you have a deadline, things like that. The deadline helps, but also you got to, that completion part is a part of the actual, process. You have to actually just pull the trigger and be like, okay, you know what? It may hit and it may not hit. If you have editors that come back at you, which I did, it's a weird feeling because you're like, okay, they don't understand exactly what I was talking about, but I think I can fix it. I think I can fix it. Let me explain what I was trying to say here. What I was saying here was, and if you're lucky, you'll get an editor that is like, oh, okay, gotcha. All right, that's not too. Yeah, we can keep it. That's not bad. Uh, but if you really were off the ball, they'll tell you and be like, listen, this is actually not. This isn't really locking in everything we needed to say, or what you're trying to say is cool, but it's being missed. Can you add this, and then that will help? I'm like, yes, yeah, I can add that. That's not a problem at all. Let's do that. And it was pretty easy fix from that point. But yeah, I think for art and both for drawing, I have those moments, but it's cool if you understand. Like Greg was saying, you have to actually find your solution. Just like creativity is unique for everybody. Some I've definitely had people say, "Hey man, how do you come up with ideas so quickly?" Or I'm like, "Oh man, I don't draw 100% of the time. I watch other things. I watch shows. I watch movies. I listen to music. Go outside." As odd as that sound, right?
touch grass,
Right. You got to get away from your table sometimes, even with the deadline due and all that stuff. You got listen, man. My creative flow is dry. I got to actually replenish it, and it's doing the stuff that actually does inspire me, like consuming other creative stuff. So that's for me. But you got to find yours. But definitely,
yeah.
there's methods to it.
And sometimes getting out of your own head, like the character that we have, the new guy that's on the cover B. Like
Mm-hmm.
we've had him in our mind forever. We never came up with a name. And
Right.
so the other day I was like stressing, looking up all these names, and I'm like, I can't find anything. And then I called Marcus, and we talked for like 2 minutes, and it's like, yeah, we got his name. So we're good. So sometimes it's like you just gotta get out of your head,
Right.
um, and like let the ideas flow.
Right.
I'm in this kind of cool space. I was in a really good groove until like a recent project. I can't tell you guys what it is, but and that one is just because of the levels of approval and what's going on. And it's been a wonderful process. It's just really different for me, um, than anything that I've done. So it was cool. But now, like getting to the end of it and like navigating through it and getting out of it and feeling like we got something really cool. Um, I'm like, okay, at least I grinded and grunted, but I actually learned. And the next time it comes, I've like Marcus said, like I've created like certain methods for myself. Thank you,
Right.
Teresa, for the bless you there. But I've created certain methods to where I think it'll be easier for me, to not fall into those little traps. But
Right.
it's the type of project that I've wanted to do like since I was a kid. So it's like this is perfect. It's like the type of thing that I would have loved to read as a kid. Um, so and I've been able to be a kid through the process. So it's all cool. Oh, I gotta take 1 second. Uh, we got nominated for a book that I did with M. Shai Dash and the Siamese Froze, a book
Mm-hmm.
called Fumes. We got nominated for an award for like best. They got in the graphic novel category, but technically comics are graphic novels. So yeah, we got nominated for the best one of the year. So stay tuned. I would tell y'all to go vote, but that would mean I'd have to look it up and figure it out. Let me see if I can do
You
that.
would have to do that.
It also helps if y'all read read the book.
Right.
I know a few of you guys have. I know some people have it, but you never know like what Teresa would be on. You know what I'm saying? Let's see.
You may miss. See if I'm across the room.
Blah 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 baby. You know I
There you
was
go.
gonna come with that,
I
didn't I?
didn't, man. You got me. You got me. I wasn't even ready.
Did you? Outstanding work. The dub dub. The dub bub. I don't know what that's saying. I don't have my glasses on. This is incredible, and your words are very inspiring.
Cool.
That's an Instagram content. Do
Cool.
I sound way more nasally than I normally do, guys? Am I annoying? Because I could mute myself. I feel like I'm annoying. Oh, Teresa said she read it. Let's go. I
Yeah.
might have that for y'all next week because I can have the link and stuff in case anybody wants to go. Vote.
All right, y'all. We are going to exactly 9:05. Right. Remember that. All right. We got this page right here in completion. But remember, I said I had these little cool idea for the effects. They want effects. Some
Can
dance
you overdose
effects.
on Ricola?
Probably. Probably. You know, I mean, there's a lot of things they don't tell you on the package. So, you know, if you can, they're not gonna let you know because that's how it works.
I'm chain smoking these
Exactly. All right.
my
So what I'm gonna
throat.
do? This is what I'm thinking. Right. We get a cool circle, and I gotta actually figure out if I did this already. Did I do this in book 4? I feel like I did. Hold on. Let me just double check.
I just dropped the link in the Facebook chat if anybody wants to go vote for us. We're not gonna be on here that much longer though,
I
so if
didn't.
you
I
wanna
didn't. I
if you
didn't do it,
wanna
but it's cool.
just take the link after uh, we get off of here, that would be great. I need to close some of these tabs.
Going to do it, man.
No, not that one.
Okay.
I had to do a whole lot of website stuff, and so I had like all these different tabs open, so I could be like, that's how I messed up and created the issue that Teresa
Mm-hmm.
found.
Mm-hmm. It is a problem that does happen.
I sent it to Leonard, and I was like, "Let me know," and he was like, "Yep." He just had sent back highlights stuff that
Right.
was messed up.
Right. Right.
Appreciate you, big dog. But that's why it's good to have people
Quality
like
control. Yeah.
yeah, like you, Leonard, because I know that those are things that y'all ain't trying to skimp on. Not that I'm trying to skimp on it, but you know how it is when you're doing a whole bunch of different things.
I remember doing multiple things before.
I,
I have.
I've I seen I seen it.
Right. Let's leave one.
Thank you, Harold.
Where?
Why am I gonna be singing that song?
Oh well, catchy.
Man, it's a song I synced it on the Grammys. This group called the Marias. The song's called "No One Noticed."
Mm-hmm.
I've been listening to that song on repeat like a crazy man.
Let it happen, man. Don't fight it. Told you.
I'm not.
Best thing to do is just not fight it. Just let it run its course, man. A lot of people try to fight that.
You know me. I play a song into the ground.
Right. I think y'all see what I'm trying to do here, though. Okay, so cool part is there's a way to actually make this. I'm gonna do some things probably before I even send it to Rodney, but I want to make sure it feels like a compression wave almost. So what you want to do is you want to fluctuate the line thickness a bit. This reminds me of an X Men or X Force character. I can't remember his name right now, but his powers are green. I think it's Cyclops' brother. I can't think of his name right now, but
He got
yeah.
killed.
Come on, man. How do you know that?
I watched the show, the movie.
That doesn't count. Okay. None of those movies count.
Uh, Al is saying, Marcus, why don't you do Inspector Gadget next?
Inspe-
After,
Inspector
after,
Gadget. How?
after he said, since you did Popeye, why don't you do Inspector Gadget?
Oh,
But
I
he was just
understand.
saying he likes the storyline.
I actually have no joke. I've actually I've concepted this with a friend of mine, and we've talked for like over an hour plus. I'm like, wouldn't it be dope if? But the difference is the people that for Popeye paid me to do it, so that was one of those things where I could do it for fun, and I do have fun doing these things. But yeah, it's different when they pay you. I said, hey, we would like you to do this with our character on purpose. And I said, what? Okay, I will do that. All right, we're gonna start there. Kind of want to copy this, not this page, but six. Where's six? I do love Inspector Gadget. Just to confirm, I am a fan of Inspector Gadget.
I used to sneak in, go in and watch Inspector Gadget. Like that was serious business for me.
Right. It was a jam. I'm not gonna lie, man. It was
No, it
very
was hard.
very classic, hard hitting stuff. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go in right
Mm-hmm.
and make sure. For instance, I'll give you an example of what I'm talking my craziness. Since y'all won't be able to see all of this happening over the weekend, right? I'll erase certain parts of it, right? So you can see that this is a wave and it actually is affecting the surrounding things. But I gotta erase some spots and then I'll leave other spots open, like so. And it's crazy, like that glue. You know?
That's crazy that you would say that.
Right.
Oh my god.
Like
Can you overdose on NyQuil?
Definitely. I'm pretty sure that one's yeah, it's pretty that was pretty common.
How many NyQuils are too many NyQuils?
Where did it go?
Anybody in the chat
Oh,
that may have the most minimal of medical knowledge, please
I was
chime
gonna
in.
say, man, you're trusting a lot. You're putting a lot of trust on the chat right now. Anybody got a cousin that's in the medical field that can answer real quick?
My brother took 8 NyQuil.
Mm-hmm.
Was only in a coma for 3 weeks.
Right.
She said, "Read the bottle." All right, goody two shoes.
Here's some information on there. May or may not be helpful. All right, so I'm gonna add speed lines there.
Teresa said, "You haven't drawn that gun yet."
Listen, when you see the solution I think it's gonna work. I got a good solution. Now that gun is so what I'm gonna do, just to give you a heads up here, right? I'm gonna create, first of all, a separate folder. We can just set this up now. I'm gonna block out the gun. Where's the gun reference? Where's it at? I didn't put it in here? Really? I thought I did. Or maybe I put it on the other one? Hold on. Nope, not you. Right?
I got that reference.
Here it is. Here it is. I got it. This one. Take that because it doesn't belong there. Turn that off. We'll come back here. Nope. Here. We'll put the reference here. Right. Wow. It's large. It's a large gun, as you can see. But we're gonna call this. This is her. This is the gun. All right. Boom. What I'm gonna do is block out the gun. I can show you all this process. Right? And it doesn't have to be perfect right now. I know that I'm going to come back in and do a whole bunch of stupid detail that I don't know why the hell I came up with it. But the point isn't that. I'm going to do this, fill it with black, and I'm just going to work backwards with the details. And that will help me to not go crazy with the line art. You see? The line art is the biggest problem, and I just, worked myself into a corner with that. There's no denying that I did too much stuff. Okay, hold on. Let's do.
You're supposed to be on my side.
What she do?
So cut it out. She's agreeing with Teresa.
About what?
About the NyQuil.
Oh yeah, that's good. Yeah.
Boo.
Save his life. Yeah. Save his life. It's only one chance.
We got to figure out how to get that telethon feel. Get over here. Buy your comic book. Pre-order your comic book on.
So I was actually on one of those. I didn't know I was going to be on one of those. They didn't tell me they were going to be hawking comics all day while I was drawing. But I was drawing live, and they were hawking comics like, those like the people do. We got 10 over here. We got 10 over here. Got sold. I was like, what the? Oh, cool. All right. They're like, Marcus, how you doing over there? Like, I'm doing fine. I'm doing fine. I didn't know this was going to be happening, but this is entertaining. So it's not impossible. You just got to have a whole bunch of stuff to actually sell while we're here. Well, you got to actually have it ready to bid. And then from there, you just say, listen, welcome tonight. We are bidding some really good stuff. Now, they did have some good stuff to bid. That's part of it.
I think we got good stuff, Marcus.
Well, listen, man, I'm just saying they had like stuff from like they had like Bitterroot stuff. You know what I mean? They had like.
Let's try it right now. Margot.
Okay.
Hey, Margot, go to the website and buy something.
There you go. That's a good
Does
way
that
to do
work?
it. That works
Let me
for me. I mean,
see
that
what works.
makes sense.
I'll
It's
put
like,
the shopping cart up and see if Margo buys something.
right.
I don't see
Yeah.
anything. We'll work on our pitch.
Okay, so there's that. I'm gonna merge that down for now. Here's that. I'm gonna close. Ooh, I should have merged that down. Yeah. Hold on. Let's do.
Teresa, that's not saving my life. Saving my life would be I'm already in danger, and then you save my life. You're trying to prevent me from harming my life. I guess that could stand.
All right, that looks pretty good. I feel like that's a good start. So we're gonna merge that down. Coming up on 9 o'clock, y'all. I'm gonna really enjoy relaxing tonight. It's gonna be great. Wait. I can't see. Let's bring the gun out of here for a second so I can turn her off. Oh, there's a giant hole right there. Where's the line at? Where's the line at? This line right here. So we're gonna go like this. Then we're gonna go like this. All right, but yeah, what plans y'all got for the weekend, man? Should I be invited to any social events or things where listen, I'm planning something, y'all. It's gonna be a sip and draw because I've never actually done one of those, and everybody keeps saying, Marcus, do you do those? I'm like, I would love to do one, but no one ever invites me to those. So I would like to come up with my own. If can't wait for somebody else to do it for me. So might as well just do it. All right, so here, okay, I can change the color of it real quick. Watch this. Let's make it a very clear blue so nobody can get it mixed up. You see how that is? That's going to be the way I can actually like reverse engineer this without losing my mind. There is going to be lines in it. I'll give you an example just for the people that are like, well, I don't understand. Okay, let's give you an example. All right, so there's going to be details, right? Like here's going to be that. This is going to be the little handhold. This is not going to be final. I'm just giving y'all an example so y'all can see. All right, all this is going to be here. We're going to have that. This thing is going to go here. The little shaft thing, all that stuff. I don't mind drawing that. It's all these 700 million lines right here. That's what I'm going to copy and paste a lot of. You guys aren't going to see it out of, fear of someone, I don't know, seeing too much. We don't want to show too much. We don't want you guys to like have nightmares of lines like I'm going to have.
What made you like decide to put all them little bitty lines?
Guys, man, I was like going really hard. I was like,
You were
this
going
is
so hard.
this is the concept that it has to actually meet the quality standards. And I think after we talked about it before, the other night, yesterday, probably yesterday, like a Japanese studio, right? There's no shortcuts to what they do, man. They actually really draw that much, and they really put that much work in. So I felt like I was being, challenged by the industry to say, well, if this ever does, you know, get to that level, it's got to have a base to stand on. So you see what I'm doing? I'm just gonna kind of do this, but I am gonna use some black, to cheat, as it were. Like I'm gonna actually have some blocked off shapes that are pretty cognitive, or you know, it'll feel like this part, but I'm gonna black that out. Similar to what we did with these covers, in fact. Wait, where's he at? Not that one. Where's W? This one. You see how this robot I didn't have to draw the whole body of this robot. I'm gonna black out some of this stuff like that. It's gonna work out, man. This was not as this robot was not as painful as it could have been.
Well,
You know
it
what I
looks
mean?
good. It looks excellente.
Look, I drew some stuff. Right, there's mechanics in there. Look at his hand. He got a mechanical hand with knuckles and bolts and everything. But I didn't like die while drawing it. So this is what's gonna happen here. I'm definitely gonna have to freak it. Where I'll pull some tricks of the trade. You guys won't know it. It'll just look good. Then I'll be like, yeah.
As
Alternatively, it could be a lot of work, and I may not like drawing her gun, but I'll figure it
her gun gets destroyed.
out.
Now she uses a switchblade. A
Hey,
switchblade.
where's her gun at? Shush, hush. Don't talk about her gun.
Anybody that's just jumping in, we're continuing our mission, working on issue 5. We did, however, today get the pre-order links live. It's just that you can go to TuskegeeAirs.com if you're on one of these apparatuses where you can't see the links. But yeah,
that's one
so
cover.
we're live.
There's another cover.
Taking pre-orders now.
Right.
We're looking to ship out in early April at the latest. So feel free to grab your copies.
So in these, and this is where we got to come up with sound effects. It's gonna be like, look how kablooey, right?
I could just shoot my gun.
Kabam! Right
Maybe
here.
not,
These are concussive bombs, guys. These are concussive bombs. They are audio sound vibration bombs. All right. They dematerialize the things. That's why this robot is just turning into what they call dust. He's just deteriorating in front of Genesis right here. So it's appropriate. But the sound effects, we can go any way we want to go with that. Like, you know, all kind of good sound effects. Greg knows. But yeah, once it's done, this is all ready to go to our colorist. He's gonna color in this. I'm gonna put some speed lines before I send it to him. But this is gonna be the final piece. But both of these pages are. Hold on, let me turn off the sketches so you guys can see it. All right, so here's the stuff. You see the stuff. All right. As it walks through, I figured out we're gonna do like a overlay. This is like an Iron Man close up almost. I can probably get her nose right there. Hold on, like that. We're not gonna see it because her hand is gonna be over here. That's fine. That's fine. Yeah, we got all of this stuff happening. Another kaplooey plam right there. All right. Get this panel showing the explosion. Genesis is like, oh my goodness. It looks like a man with, looks like he has a mouthful of gold teeth. And then we'll let that ride. We'll let that ride.
I'm not gonna get that.
Stuff like that. This is a Frankenstein page, but this is where I wanted it to feel pretty unique. But yeah, thank you guys. We have accomplished the mission. These 2 pages are in fact ready to get gone. I got to add some speed lines to these 2. Probably like a little burst speed line right here. It'll be a combination. It'd be cool. But yeah, this is what this looks like, and then this is gonna be a project for this weekend. Should come back and I'll show you guys. We may post some of this stuff. Like I may actually post the page. Cause if you see it with no words and it's not colored, it's not bad. You know, y'all still ain't gonna know what they saying. It'll be like a teaser, you know, in context. You know what I mean? So yeah, we'll find a way to actually show progress at the end of at the beginning of the week. And post that on Tuskegee Heirs. So if you guys aren't following that, go ahead over there, follow Tuskegee Heirs with your life, and then let that go, and let other people know what's happening. Okay. So it's we're at time. We are at time. I gotta go pick up my daughter in a minute.
I gotta go get in the bed.
I'm still doing my fast. I'm okay. I got water.
I need some Alka-Seltzer.
Hey man, you need to do it fast. But yeah, man. Thank you guys. Let me make sure I save this one. Saving this. I'm not gonna keep that. We got the gun in its own little folder right there. I'm gonna come back and do some real details. It's gonna be great. All right. So the world knows that. All right, let me save this. Turn her. Wow. Cool. All right, man. Thank you guys for hanging out. Thanks for everybody that actually did go pick up these covers. Where's my mouse at? What is going on? Thanks everybody that went to go pre-order. We're gonna keep that link up every week. We will have every day. You know what I mean? We're gonna keep that going. You will consistently see more pages coming out. That way, you know that there is no lies being told, unless aliens are proven to be real. And then I'm gonna take at least a day to reel about that. We'll work on it. But yeah, y'all be good. Have a good weekend, man. And thank y'all for joining. And I'm out.
You and good night.
Deuces. Bye.